I met a gypsy.
So your rally in particular, how did it start off? Like, how are you feeling coming into it? Did you have like a good run coming into this one? No injuries, like a good bike setup, like bike development?
So, yeah, this year we had, a new bike, new chassis, and
Oh, you guys rode the new...
brand new.
Sick.
Yeah, so we spent all last year developing the bike and, setup, and developing a new bike's not easy. I mean, yeah, you can go buy a bike if you ride a Honda, your whole life, and then you go buy a KTM. It's not easy to set that bike up if you've been on, Honda your whole life. So it's more or less like the same thing.
Ask Chase Sexton.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we have a new bike. Spent all year, dude, back and forth, up and down, dude, getting this thing to work. And, yeah, before the Dakar, I did some training with Skyler. Dude had a big crash in Nevada.
That was massive, dude.
Yeah, I had a big crash, and I'm like, man, that hurt.
Really?
And then now I'm like, okay, I broke the bike, and now going into Dakar, I'm like kind of scratching my head, like, damn, I don't know what's gonna happen. So
were you hurt out of it, or?
Yeah, dude, I busted my face, busted my hand, I got some scratches, whatever, but most of all, like, the bike was hammered.
Yeah.
And
was that your race bike that you were planning on racing, or?
No, it was a brand new model bike, but my training bike.
Yeah, okay.
So smashed that thing up pretty good, and then going into Dakar, I had mixed feelings because I was like, man, the old bike for sure wouldn't have done this to me. So it was just like a learning process of trying to figure out how to ride the new bike versus the old bike.
Yeah. What's the new bike based on?
It's based out of I think like an X or an RX chassis.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, it's obviously a little bit more rigid, so there's things we had to work on. But yeah, going into the rally, I was mixed feelings. Prologue comes around, we do some shakedown, it's good. Prologue comes around, make a little mistake at prologue, and now I'm like kicking myself in the ass, before the race even starts, because now I'm like, dude, day one, I did a shit prologue. Now I'm gonna have to start in the front, and I'm gonna lose time today, blah blah. But in the end, everyone made almost the same mistakes, so the times were still close.
Yeah.
So I got lucky.
So did you qualified way further up than you wanted to, basically, or how did it work?
So in the prologue, the Rally GP guys, like however many there could be 20 or 17 or 15. Those guys can pick, their starting order. But obviously, if you qualify first, you're going to be the last person to pick your spot and have, the most opportunity. Well, I think I was like 11th. So I'm like, damn, I'm, and typically when it's the Rally GPs that can pick, it's typically the way they pick is going to be the reversed order of the finished prologue. So now I'm thinking in my head, like, damn, I got 11th. I'm going to start freaking way up front tomorrow, and all these guys are going to start behind me.
And they're just going to follow tire tracks.
Yeah. So now, now I'm the guy being hunted on day one. So day one, big stressful day. Day one was a big day. Rocks. The rocks, I enjoy the rocks. I can ride the rocks. I grew up here.
Yeah.
So like you said, with the desert and the terrain, it's rugged. This is where I grew up, so I feel comfortable in it. Day one turned out good. I got, second on the day. So from day one, I was like already kind of on a high. Like, okay, I did good today. Tomorrow, I start second. The guys are still starting behind me. But now I'm like, okay, I started second, so I didn't lose time yesterday. And I'm going to gain bonus time on day two because I'm starting up front.
Yeah.
So then on day two, dude, me, Nacho, and Ross open up the whole day. We all get bonus time because we're so close to each other. So then after day two, I think all of us finished, like 3, 4, and 5. So day two was another high. I'm like, man,
we're crushing.
We're doing good. Like, how come no one's like putting these 10-minute gaps to us?
Yeah.
Day 3, fuck, here we go again. Like, they're all hunting us down. Day 3 comes around. Okay, we get 3, 4, 5 again, or more or less like that, right in the middle. Us three were basically positioned perfectly every day. We were right in the middle of, the KTM, gas, and Husky, every day. So what we did on day 1, I think set the mood for the rest of the rally.
Yeah. Which is crazy to think, right?
Yeah. And this is what I was talking about to the team. I'm like, I don't know how this is working out like this, because we're always starting in front of these guys. Like, when are they gonna make the massive push and put 15 minutes to us? And this is the hard part is, we're thinking, fuck, what are they gonna do? When is gonna be the breakaway day? When are they gonna put massive time on us and just leave us in the dust? But that day never came. So I think from stage 1, we did like a good show, and I think it placed us perfectly on day 2, which would have placed us perfectly for 3, and so on, all the way to the finish.
Yeah.
And then now we get to rest day. I just take the overall lead on rest day, like the day before rest day, by 1 second. And now I'm like, fuck. Dude, 1 second gap. Like, this is the most stressful race I've ever done. What am I going to do? 1 second is nothing.
Literally nothing.
We're starting the rally on day 7 now.
Yeah.
And now...
Yeah, the whole first week is a wash.
Yeah, and now we're starting the second week tired, closer to being home, thinking about the flight, thinking about barbecue, thinking about holidays.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, fuck, man, we're so close. It's like we're starting a new rally, but we've been working our ass off the last 6 days. So I had it, I had an idea of what I was going to do when I was going to do it. So the day after rest day, I played a little bit of games. I caught Ross, which was the guy that was in second, 1 second behind me. So I caught him. So now in my head, I'm like, okay, I made 3 minutes on him. I'm going to sit with him all day. So I got him. Dude, he was like, all right, go open up. I'm going to sit behind you. And I was like, okay, whatever. I do half the stage with him just sitting behind me. We are getting closer to the finish, and I just kind of like pull over. Go, Ross. I'm going to follow you in. And I just followed Ross in, but sat way back in the dust and kind of went, like 50%.
Yeah.
Which placed me and Ross perfectly for the following day. But Ross started right behind me, so I made up 3 minutes on Ross. And then the next day, he could make up 3 minutes on me, leaving the gap to be 1 second. So I'm like, fuck, all right. The next day, I don't have a choice. Like, I have to get on it. The next day, I think 8. Dude, I was 110% on the gas. Caught up to Toby. Me and Toby rode together. I lost my rear brakes. Hit like my caliper on a rock, and it was warped, so it just made the thing super hot.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, Toby, I don't got rear brakes, so if you want to, like, if you can ride faster in front of me, then go for it. And he's like, no, mate, I can't even keep up with you with rear brakes. But in my head, I had like a vision of how I was going to do this day. Like, Ross started behind me, and obviously I didn't want him to catch me to make up 3 minutes on me because I already had that gap. So I was like, okay, I'm going to juice it all day, dude. I made like a 7-minute gap to Ross. So now that put my lead up, and they're asking me, oh, are you a little bit more relaxed now that your lead is this? And I'm like, no, dude, 7 minutes is nothing because you blow one corner, it's 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So now it's even more stressful because now the next day I'm starting 12 minutes ahead of Ross. So now Ross has another advantage to make up on me. So second week was so stressful. And then cards didn't work out how I wanted to. So in stage 11, Ross, in my mind, I was thinking stage 10, Ross is going to beat me and open up stage 11, and I'll have another opportunity to make up minutes on Ross, but didn't work out that way. Ross finished, I think, like 8th on stage 10, and I was first. And our gap was like 7 minutes at this point, but Ross started 18 minutes behind me. So now I'm opening up the road, and now I'm worried that Ross is going to catch me 18 minutes. And it was a big stressful day, but stage 11, no one caught me. I nailed it. rode slow and just nailed the navigation. And I ended up at the last refueling, I heard I was winning the stage by like 40 seconds. And I was like, fuck, I don't want this. I don't want to open the last day. So the last, couple kilometers, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go 50%, back her down. Then Ross ended up beating me by like 20 seconds. So it's all a game, dude. And the minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes is nothing, because if I start first and you start third, you can make 6 minutes on me. And if I only have a 7-minute lead, then that leads out the window.
Yeah.
And the 3 days after rest day of like 1 second, dude, to 3 minutes, it's nothing. And it was the most stressful thing, dude. Most stressful race I've ever done in my life, because I'm like, every day you're thinking about how can you bridge the gap? How can you push? But you push, then you risk making a mistake and then losing all the time that you're trying to gain. And it was a headache.
And so how did those last few days play out for you?
The last few days was stage 11. I had to open, and Ross was 18 minutes behind me. So I was really stressing. And this is where the frustrating rally training comes in play, because, yeah, you're frustrated, or you have mixed feelings about how the day's going to go and the time you're going to lose. But I just tried my best, like, to keep my cool. And I tried not to let it bother me. But, no, it worked out. It worked out really well. And then on stage 12 was the last day. I started behind Ross. So what I did on 12 was I just sat behind Ross the whole day, because I hadn't, obviously I needed the bike to get to the finish line, but Ross was fighting for second place and my teammate was fighting, to get second or third. So Ross had a big job, because Ross didn't want to lose second. But the last few days was stressful. And after stage 11, I opened the whole stage and I was pretty confident, like, okay, like, we sealed the deal, but there's still one more day of racing. So, like, the emotions on stage 11 were, like, meant more to me than the finish of the actual rally, because that was, like...
That's where it could really go wrong.
Yeah. And I was like, stage 11 was a day where we were going to lose or we were going to maintain. And we maintained it. So, the last 3 days was stressful, because we opened up stage 10. I caught my teammate on stage 10. I started second. He started first. We rode together. But also Ross had a big advantage to catch us. So we worked together on 10. And then we tried to work together on 11, but no one caught me. So it was stressful. But I still had, like, the comfort knowing my teammates were behind me. So if I made a mistake, a 3-minute mistake, I know there's someone behind me that will lead me the right way.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's just, dude, it's hard to explain, because you don't know until you're there,
We're excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, gypsytales.com, packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.